My friend, you know what I don't hear people talk about very often? That quiet pressure we feel to style fabulous centerpieces just to impress our guests. It's subtle, but it's there. That feeling that the centerpiece is supposed to say something about you, about your taste, about how much effort you put into hosting, almost like it's quietly answering a question that no one has asked out loud. If you've ever stood at your table and paused for a second and thought, is my centerpiece enough? Does my table look finished, or is there something more I should be doing? I just want you to know I've been there too. I think most of us have felt that moment of hesitation, even if we can't quite name it. Somewhere along the way, we've picked up this idea that the centerpiece needs to be impressive, thought through, layered, and styled just right. I think a lot of that belief comes from what we see, not what we experience. Most of the tables we're inspired by aren't real-life tables. They're images, styled photos we see on brands' websites or on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube. They're designed to make you stop mid-scroll, to grab your attention, impress you, and show you what your centerpiece should look like. They're quietly setting the bar. Now, don't get me wrong. I love those tables too. I love looking at them, but they're frozen moments. They don't show you what happens once people sit down, once food starts getting passed, when someone leans in to tell a story. Those tables are made to be looked at, not lived at. And that's where the disconnect happens. Because here's the truth about centerpieces that no one really talks about. A centerpiece isn't meant to impress. It's meant to support the table. That idea took me a while to really understand. I used to think centerpieces were the moment. It was the star, the focus, the thing that tied everything together. But over time, especially as I hosted more, I realized something important. When the centerpiece becomes the focus, it quietly competes with all the other things that matter most, the people, the food, the conversation. And once I started seeing the centerpiece as a supporting role instead of the star, everything shifted. It wasn't there to prove effort or creativity. It was there to quietly anchor the space, set the tone, and then step back. That one shift removed so much pressure from hosting for me. Hosting is what really changed my perspective. Not styling tables for photos, but hosting real people. Watching how they sit, how they reach across the table, how they lean in and linger longer. That's when I stopped asking myself, does this look like enough? And started asking, does this feel good to sit at? That question is incredibly grounding. Because when something is too tall, too wide, too busy, or doesn't take up physical space, it takes up emotional space. It creates little barriers that makes the table feel like it's something you're supposed to admire instead of enjoy. And honestly, over-the-top centerpieces rarely look the same by the end of the evening. I mean, have you ever noticed guests moving pieces out of the way or trying to look around them? Or once the meal is done, people naturally get up and move somewhere else to have a comfortable conversation? I think that's why simple centerpieces feel so different to me. They're confident. They don't try to prove anything. They leave room. They allow the table to breathe. They make space for the things that actually create memories. There's also another side to this that people don't talk about very often, the cost of overdoing it. And I just don't mean money, I mean time. It takes time to style photo-worthy centerpieces, making tweaks until everything feels just right. Storage. Some of the most amazing centerpieces, we need to use lots of different pieces, large items, small items. And then when the party's over, you're left wondering, where is everything supposed to go? And then there's decision fatigue, going back and forth on what you're going to use, how you're going to style it, that feeling of turning every gathering into a project. Because styling intricate centerpieces can be draining. And when hosting starts to feel heavy, something important gets lost. A table should feel inviting, not like you're trying to pass a test. This is what I think is so important. If you've ever worried that your centerpiece wasn't enough, that feeling that you being behind, more often than not, it means that you're closer to the truth than you realize. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you might have noticed that my centerpieces, for the most part, have become simpler over time. They don't take a long time to style and create. I want them to feel attainable. I never want somebody to feel the pressure to create an elaborate centerpiece, because to me, that sets the bar too high. It can make someone feel like they aren't worthy of creating an attractive table setting, like they don't have what it takes to host a wonderful gathering. We put way too much pressure on ourselves to impress the people we love. And the most meaningful tables aren't the ones that impress from across the room. They're the ones that invite people to stay, to linger, to feel comfortable being exactly where they are. So here's my 2 cents. Don't feel pressured to create an intricate, over-the-top centerpiece. Instead, remove the stress and install a beautifully simple centerpiece that supports your table. Because once you let go of the pressure to impress, everything else becomes enjoyable. Now, tell me in the comments below if you agree or disagree. Let's start that conversation. Now, in my next video, I want to take this a step further and talk about what actually makes a table feel welcoming. I'm not talking about trends, not talking about rules. Now, if you enjoyed my video, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.